Well, hello there, everybody. Wow. Just wow. Like, what else can you say? Kamaru Usman just capped off one of the craziest nights in UFC history with one of the craziest finishes. I was wrong about a lot of things, but one thing I was right about was we were in for a weird night, and this was a weird night in a lot of ways. But Kamaru Usman caps it off with a violent second-round knockout. First time in 50 pro fights, Jorge Masvidal was stopped like that, and Kamaru Usman is still the welterweight champion of the world. Valentina Shevchenko is still the women's flyweight champion of the world. What a performance she had against Jessica Andrade. And once again, Thug Rose Namajunas, the UFC women's strawweight champion, after she stops Zhang Wei Li in the first round. What a crazy night indeed. And we're just getting started with the post-fight coverage.
Thug Rose!
Wow. I mean, this whole event was wild. From the first exchange in the opening prelim to how this fight ended. I mean, this is as good as it could have gotten for the UFC, right? I mean, there were some unfortunate things that happened along the way, but overall, in terms of talking points, how we're going to spend the next week, I mean, this one checked off all the boxes, did it not?
That was a fantastic night of fights. It was all. Hey, Jose, can we hear you?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Sorry, I'm
chime in.
the
Yeah.
press conference right now.
Okay.
It's 12:30 a.m. in the East Coast, and I forgot what it's like to cover East Coast events, and all of a sudden, just like an adrenaline dump just hit me.
I haven't collected my thoughts yet. I haven't just. Oh man.
I just sat down for the first time in a long time. I've been on my feet since.
They media room was a little wild, like not wild, like we're all jumping up and cheering, but like just like a collective, like what the hell did we just watch right there? It was wild. It was wild. It's wild here. Like it's been a long time since I felt it, because we're obviously in the bowels of this arena. I could feel this entire building shaking when that happened.
I mean, the only thing I think this card missed, especially in the main event, was Esther Lin not being cage side to capture that right hand that Usman landed. I mean, can you imagine that photo? Oh,
I don't know.
I would. Yeah, I mean, it's a sad thing to think about, but that was the only thing that would have made that more memorable, was being able to find that photo anytime I wanted to. But what a crazy event. Unbelievable. For those joining us right now, this is the first. God.
Chad Johnson is back here, and he's not looking really happy.
Did he lose some money?
He probably lost a lot of money. I mean, Masvidal talked him into placing a hefty wager at the press conference.
He asked a question at the press conference. He was basically like, "Oh, yeah, I love you."
Wait, I mean, you should still love him, man. You know, fighters win, fighters lose. You still stick by your fighters. Come on, Chad.
Hey, listen, Masvidal handled it well. Looks like the bad blood is over. Yeah, I mean,
what a great!
This whole event was wild.
Yeah, the way Masvidal and Usman's post fight speech interviews were awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of, Masvidal says, Masvidal has kind of been Masvidal lately, but yeah, the way he handled that loss was perfect. That's how you should handle a loss, and it was a great. And the way Usman handled the victory, it was a good night of fights. Good freaking night of fights. Yeah, with the championship fights.
All right. Well, I'm gonna set this audio to the press conference because it looks like people are starting to file in, and I don't want to miss anything.
No problem.
So you'll hear from me maybe maybe between if there's breaks, but carry on, guys.
All right, so that is Jose Young's Boots on the Ground in Jacksonville. I am Mike Heck. Casey Lyden is here as well. This is the first of our two-part post-fight coverage. We got the press conference, as you can see, coming up. We'll hear from Valentina Shevchenko. We will hear from the new strawweight champion, Rose Namajunas. We will hear from Kamaru Usman. Maybe we'll hear from Masvidal. We'll hear from Dana White. Who knows who we'll see up there? We could see anybody. And apparently Colby Covington is giving some sort of interview.
I hope they bring Colby to the post presser. That's coming. I guess he's next up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's what Dan said.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see what Usman wants at this point. I mean, I think after a performance like that, he's gotta have a little bit of sway, does he not? I mean, maybe he wants to wait and see what happens with the Wonder Boy fight, or who knows. But yeah, what a great card. I see the comments coming in, just reacting to this whole thing. I mean, wow. So the 3 title fights were something. The first 2 main card fights were wild. Anthony Smith looked great. Jimmy Crute he was landing so many leg kicks early on. Smith didn't check any of them, but Smith was landing just a beautiful jab over and over again. And then Smith landed 1 leg kick, and Jimmy Crute was like never the same again. It got to the nerve, and the man tried to come out in the second round. He's like, let's go. And then he tried to take a step forward, and he couldn't do it. That fight ended unfortunate. And then
I still have questions about that. I still have questions about that stoppage, because I need to talk to a ref who knows all the very particulars of the rules, because I still don't quite understand why that fight was stopped.
I mean, he couldn't take a step.
It doesn't matter.
He tried.
It doesn't matter.
He was almost falling over.
It doesn't matter.
Why?
You can fight with a broken arm. You can fight with a broken hand. As long as you're intelligent defending yourself. I know it sounds absurd, but as long as you're intelligent defending yourself, you should be able to still fight. So
right, but you can hide an arm injury. You can't hide not being able to walk.
Dude, Sean O'Malley won a fight on 1 leg against Sukatov? What's his name? But there's so many things to talk about. We'll focus on that later.
Yeah, and then we move on to Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman, and man, one of the most gruesome things I've ever seen in my life. Chris Weidman throws the first strike of the fight, 17 seconds in, throws a leg kick, a really hard one, and we know what happened. We saw the replays. Don't want to ever see it again. And man, you just got to feel for both guys. I mean, you got to feel for Weidman, obviously. Hopefully he can heal up and get well, but you also got to feel for Uriah Hall, because I know how much this fight meant to him, and to have it end that way, I mean, he's going to be stewing on that for a while, and rightfully so. So just a wild event. We saw a 1-arm rear naked choke tonight.
Yeah, Randy.
We saw it all.
Dude, Doug Rose, a head kick. Valentina with an incredible point. I was picking on Andrade for the upset, but Andrade had nothing for Valentina. Like, Valentina got, just like Kamaru Usman seems to be getting better and better as a champion, Valentina's the same way. I feel like each performance, she is actually getting better. Oh, and that's a UFC personnel. That's not other Dana White.
Who is this? Who is this gentleman? He's keeping the seat warm, and we appreciate that, I guess. It's a nice tie. Got the 3-piece suit rocking. And it's got the bald head. So there you go. Props. Let's see. Usman is the active GOAT. I mean, listen, I picked Masvidal to win tonight, and it wasn't because I didn't think Usman had the skill to win. It's just because I just had a weird vibe tonight. I just felt like the strangest things could happen, and I thought there were some intangibles in play that made Masvidal a super live dog, and Usman proved me wrong, man. I mean, that was ferocious. And just hearing the build-up and Masvidal just talking about how Usman has no power, he's got pillow hands and all this stuff, and to see him get dropped like that was just wild, man.
Did he not watch the Gilbert Burns fight? See, it was funny. I mean, and I totally understand your angle on thinking Masvidal was going to win, but when I saw the Gilbert Burns fight, and I saw how Gilbert hurt Usman early in the fight, and Usman quickly recovered from that and basically didn't lose, any part of the round after that shot, I was like, oh my goodness, this man is going to be so difficult to defeat. If he can take a shot like that and remain composed, it's like that you have to one shot knock him out. I just didn't. I mean, Masvidal could do that tonight. I thought there was a chance, but a low chance. And man, oh man, that was just. Is the Snoozman thing officially dead? Are we still gonna get Snoozman things in the? Think of his last 2 championship
shouldn't
fights.
say that anymore.
People still say that. I mean, I get Jorge trying to sell the rematch by going, oh, you hugged my crotch, all that stuff. But, please stop that.
Yeah, I think it's beyond that. I'm curious to see what Usman is thinking about right now. I mean, we got Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz coming up on May 15th. We got Wonder Boy and Gilbert Burns coming up on July 10th. Usman just fought twice in 70-something days. So, I mean, this was the quickest turnaround of his entire career. So I assume he's going to want to take a little time to smell the roses, as he should. So we may not see him till later on this year at this point. I know we got Colby out there. Dana White said Colby's next in line if Usman wins, but it's hard to even make that decision yet with all these things that need to play out, because I mean, obviously people want to see Colby fight again because that first fight was so good, and Colby is Colby, and the build to that fight will be phenomenal. Maybe a little awkward, but it will be phenomenal overall. But Usman better than GSP. He's getting there. He's closer. He's got work to do to get to GSP. And that's not saying that he's not great, because Usman, if anyone's going to get to GSP, it's Usman. He's the guy. But if he gets 2 more wins, we could start talking about that. We're getting close. We're getting a lot closer.
If we count the road to get to the title fight too, I mean, I don't know. It's just his entire UFC resume and the dominance of Usman's wins. I was there for the whole GSP ride. I went to at least 5 or 6 shows in Canada with GSP. I mean, I did all the press events. I was there and everything, but to me, Usman's they're right there. I get money wise, GSP sold more tickets. GSP was never booed when he came into an arena. I get that, but it's just pure fighters. Man, I think Usman's on that same level right now. Maybe better. Look at the dominance of his wins compared to GSP. I mean, GSP had a lot of close fights, a lot of nail biters. He got hurt in fights, but still came back and won. Am I forgetting something? Has Usman been in the Colby fight might have been his most competitive fight. Am I forgetting one?
Oh, it's definitely the most competitive fight.
So one fight in his UFC career has actually been competitive, and he wound up and he finished the guy, So
yeah, I mean, and we'll give Gilbert Burns some props too. He was competitive. He dropped Usman and had him in some trouble. So I mean, that was a great fight too, for as long as it lasted. But Usman just showed that championship mentality. I mean, the time to be sleeping on Usman is over. It's over now. The big heavy favorite lines. I don't know if we're gonna get to consistent Shevchenko levels, but no matter who Usman fights moving forward, he's gonna be a big favorite, and he should be. I mean, you don't just do that to Jorge Masvidal. No one's been able to do that before. No. Not like that.
No one. No, and the fight, honestly, up till then,
better.
Up till then, I mean, Usman won that first round too, pretty handily. He hit Jorge a few times, and it really rocked him. And he got hit for a hard cross, and DC's like, oh, he just shook that off. I was like, he still got hit pretty hard in the face. That's not a good thing. I mean, it was just that chin. I mean, each time you get a big punch from those, a little bit of that chin goes away. So
what's funny though? Coming out of that first round, I was like, all right, my pick, the way I saw this fight going, is going exactly the way I thought it was going to go. Usman won the round, but Masvidal was landing a lot of leg kicks. He was chipping away. He was doing the little chippy thing. And then by the time the third round came, I thought maybe that stuff would add up, and that's when Masvidal would have his opportunity. But it was only in those moments. It wasn't going to be a thing where Masvidal was going to starch him in the first round. It was going to be something that, Usman was going to be up 20-18 across the board, but Masvidal was going to land leg kicks, start chipping away, and then those points would kind of add up in Masvidal's favor to land that one big shot. But we just never got to that point because Usman put him to sleep. That was just wild. GOAT fight card, I would agree. If you guys have interesting takes on different fights, go right ahead. We'll obviously have the post-fight show coming up after this as well to address all this, because there ain't going to be no adrenaline dump from me anytime soon. That's for sure.
So
we got Jake Paul in the building getting booed and Jake
Oh.
Paul chants all night long. If we want to do that every card, I'm fine with that.
Oh my God. Okay. There's so much to talk about this card. There's so much. I was like, I want to talk about Jimmy Crute. I want to talk about Chris Weidman. I want to talk about Valentina. I want to talk about. We barely mentioned Rose's incredible knockout over Wei Lee. Incredible knockout. We barely mentioned that. We haven't mentioned that thing. I don't even know. All right.
There's Dana White. We're gonna hear bonuses right now. Here we go.
It's good to say this. The gate was $3.3 million. Arena record, broke the arena record. 15,269 people here tonight. Fight of the night is the flyweights. Molina and Adjaquilling. Yeah. Fight gonna be a long fucking press conference, boys and girls. Performance of the night, Usman Rose. They all won $50,000. Kamaru's only the second. The fuck is going on back there? Kamaru's only the second person to knock out Masvidal, and Rose is the first female to ever title. I guess it's never been done before. So, congrats to all of them. What a week! What a night! What's up?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I'm sure you'll want to kind of decompress, right? I mean, this card was amazing on its own, but then to be the first one back, I mean, how do you sum up everything that happened tonight, just how you're feeling at the moment?
Yeah, it was an amazing night. I think, sorry. Yeah, Okay. I felt it yesterday too at the weigh-ins and at the fighter meeting. Felt weird, felt different at the fighter meeting yesterday, and you know, these guys came out tonight and performed from the first fight of the night to the main event, and obviously the fans were absolutely insane. It was really. I mean, we had this conversation. I've talked to some of you personally about it, and I've talked to you guys, you know, about it. But there's just a different energy you get when people are here, and tonight was insane.
We've got a lot to talk about in terms of fights, but Chris Weidman, what's the latest with him? Do you have any medical updates on him?
He's stable right now, and he'll have surgery in the morning.
Jimmy Crute as well. I mean, was that one of those weird ones with the nerve, or did he maybe a ligament? Do we know?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a nerve. I think he blew his knee. There's something wrong. And listen, I'm no doctor, but yeah, his knee is not right.
Let's talk about Kamaru Usman. As you said, just an absolutely amazing performance for him tonight. I don't think anybody saw the fight ending that way. Just what are your thoughts on him? And he's saying, hey, I'm pound for pound number one. I mean, are you looking at him as that as well?
Yeah, listen, I think we can all agree. No matter how you feel, you know, the guy's getting booed in there tonight. He's one of the best ever, and he's on his way to probably being the greatest of all time. I mean, the guy is an absolute stud. He looks better every time he comes out. You know, these people talk about him being boring. You're an idiot. You're an idiot if you think this guy's boring. He hasn't been in a boring fight in a while, and you know, he changed after he did that whole "I only gave 30% tonight" thing. He's been a different human being ever since the RDA fight.
Colby Covington was in the building. Does that seem like the fight to make now? I mean, obviously the history there.
It's the fight to make. Yeah, he's the number one guy in the world. And, you know, Usman's thing was he didn't want him to be the backup. He's like, I want Masvidal, and I want a camp, and I'll take him again. And, you know, he's like, I'm going to start lapping these guys. But for him to really cement your legacy, you know, when you go in and you beat the guys who are looked at as the best in the world at that time, and you beat them twice, and you beat them convincingly, you know, it's all just part of cementing that legacy that this guy's going to end up having someday.
Can you get your thoughts on Rose? Obviously, an incredible win for her, and then emotional scenes. I mean, Joe Rogan's in there crying. I mean, what were your thoughts on just the whole thing?
Tonight was special, man. Tonight was a special night in so many different ways. You know, monumental for us to be back first. Yeah, it was a big night, and everybody fought like it was a big night.
that division strawweight is so deep with amazing fighters. Do you see a clear-cut number one contender for Rose, or is this one that we're going to have to kind of figure out what makes sense?
Listen, obviously the rematch is, that's a fun fight. And I think a lot of people will be excited about that fight. But, I don't make fights the night of the fight, but I'm just saying off the top of my head, that makes a lot of sense.
Last thing on fights, Valentina. I mean, I think we're running out of superlatives to describe how good she is. I mean, what can you say about Valentina?
It's almost like, tell me if this is how you felt tonight when she was fighting. Like she was pissed. Like she was mad that anybody could, because I love this fight because I knew Jessica Andrade was going to show something that she hasn't seen yet, and she was going to be in her face, and she was going to do this, and she was going to do that. And it's like, she was like a fucking demon tonight, pissed off that anybody believed that was possible, and she looked incredible. It was one of the best performances of her career.
Yeah, it was. And so everybody's saying, look, the only person that could possibly beat her is Amanda Nunes, but I mean, they're in different weight classes. I'm curious. Is that an appealing fight to you, or do you feel like they should have their own kind of legacy?
Yeah, their own legacies. Listen, they fought a couple times. People can think whatever they want. There's always somebody else coming up. There's always a new contender. And it's not Valentina's fault that she's, one of the all-time baddest women on this planet. So making her move up to 135 pounds just doesn't make sense. They did it twice. Listen, if they both come to me and they both want to do it and whatever, then I'll make it happen. But it's not something I'm thinking about.
We almost got Daniel Cormier out of retirement tonight to fight Jake Paul. I'm just curious what you thought about that whole spectacle. I mean, the crowd was chanting Jake Paul. They had the little confrontation there.
Listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This kid's done a good job of putting himself in a place to make some money, man. So good for him. He's got you guys talking about him all the time and asking questions about him, and got Daniel Cormier running after him. So he's doing something right. He knocked out an NBA guy that was 40 years old and 30 pounds less than him. And, I don't even know what to think about the Askren thing, man. The whole thing is fucking mind-boggling to me. But, hey, good for him. Grab that money while you can, kid.
I was going to say, would you ever do business with him? I mean, it sounds weird, but the numbers are there.
The numbers are there? Nah, I don't know if the numbers are there. Listen, do you know what would happen to this guy? He ain't fighting in the UFC. These guys are. You're getting me talking about this fucking guy again. He's getting hand-picked opponents, and God knows what else is going on with that whole fucking thing. It's all, there is a market for that. That's not what I do. That is not what I do. People want to see that, and people want to see it, and it's great. And this kid's going to make a couple bucks before this ride is over, and it's just not what I do. What I do is what happened tonight. What happened tonight is we sold this place out, and it was packed. And the numbers that you're hearing that they did are full of shit. They're full of shit, okay? They didn't pull those kind of numbers at all, not even fucking close. And tonight, what happened here tonight is what I do. The best versus the best. There is a market for that. People want to see that stuff, and that kid's going to make a couple bucks, and good for him. But that's not what I do.
Last thing for me, Danny, we're going back to the Apex next week, right? I mean, I'm just curious what you can say about the future right now, because I'm wondering if this weekend maybe had some venues call you, some governments call you, that sort of thing, and say, hey, we see what you did there. We'd like a little piece of that too.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to Houston, we're going to Vegas, and then we're talking about possibly Arizona, and we'll see what else opens up. But I think that after tonight, give it a week, let all the fallout. There'll probably be some negative shit. Who knows? You know what I mean? I went in on the Review Journal today. I went in on the Review Journal, and let me say this to you guys. I think a lot of us here like Adam Hill and are friends with Adam Hill, and I did not say Adam Hill, right? Because I know that you all have arrogant, smug, fucking editors, pompous-ass editors who write your headlines for you sometimes, and, some of the other bullshit that goes in there. And it just pissed me off that the day of the fight to read that in my own hometown newspaper. Fuck the Las Vegas Review Journal. Fuck them. Dirty. I thought it was dirty. I thought it was a low blow. And, listen, at the end of the day, people can write whatever they want. So can I. So can I.
Dana,
Yep.
you often say that you're in the business of providing holy shit moments for fans, right?
Right.
Looking at the first fight of the pay-per-view to the main event, would you describe this as a home run in terms of that?
Yeah, listen, I don't think it gets any better than tonight. I mean, you couldn't have a better night than tonight. I mean, I don't know how you guys felt, but tonight was a whole night was a holy shit night. I mean, there wasn't like, oh yeah, we had a couple of holy shit moments tonight. The whole night was a holy shit. It was amazing. The crowd was amazing. The fights were amazing, and you know, I think when it went off, Rose was like plus 165. You know, you had underdogs winning, and it was a pretty badass night.
I think we all know how much this event in particular has meant to you. You wanted to be first with fans back in the building. You've always said that we should try and push on during the pandemic. To do it, to pull it off, to have the entire night be a holy shit night. How important is this event to your career, personally?
You know, we've had a lot of milestones and, you know, things like that. I think just the whole getting through COVID, doing it safely, being the first one to come back, and then, you know, doing this tonight with a full indoor crowd. We COVID tested this whole week with the athletes and us. I COVID tested all week, and everybody was good, and we did it again. You know, it's time to get back to normal. You know, and I know a lot of you guys in the media don't feel exactly the way I do about a lot of things, but you can't deny it felt pretty fucking good to be in Florida this week and be normal. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. And when I saw people wear masks, I didn't say anything to people wear masks. When people saw people that weren't wearing masks, nobody said anything to people that weren't wearing masks. Everybody's just doing their things. You know what? People seem like they're a lot happier down here in Florida than they are in some of these other fucking states. You know what I mean? Everybody's doing their thing down here and living their life, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So it felt good to be here. It felt good to have, you know, the mayor, the governor, and all these people working with us to put on a safe event and for people to come out and have fun. It was awesome. It literally couldn't have been better. We couldn't have planned this any better or done it any better than we did.
Last thing for me, Nick Diaz was in attendance tonight. Is that just as a guest, or is there something going on there?
Yeah, Nick wants to fight.
Are you willing to give him a fight?
Sure.
Give us a name against who?
We'll see how this goes.
Do you have? Is there any time frame?
He's waiting for me in the back right now. I'm going to go talk to him. So.
Bring him out here if you want.
No, it's
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Sure, he wouldn't like that.
Dana,
over here.
Hey,
Over here.
yes, sir.
What do you think is the best pay-per-view that y'all put on? The 217 when you had the 3 belts when Rose first holy shit moment, or tonight? Because they're pretty
Different,
identical.
very different, very different. You know, tonight was a big deal on a lot of different levels. You know, being back with 100. I said I wouldn't come back without 100% of fans. We did tonight, and like we're talking about, it couldn't have been any better. So tonight's different than any other show we've ever put on.
In your opinion, did that kick solidify Rose as a certified future Hall of Famer and put that stamp, the gold stamp of approval?
Yeah, first female to ever regain her title again. Never been done. And Ali, obviously, I know I do, and I know a lot you do too, respect Whaley and how incredible she is and what a tough fighter she is, how hard she works, how hard she trains. And to come out and do what she did tonight was very impressive.
I get to come on in a second. What do you do with Jorge next? Nobody's really talked about that since we didn't expect what we just saw to happen.
I don't know. I don't know what's next for him. We'll see. But, you know, Kamaru Usman has cemented, you know, his legacy as one of the greatest ever in that division.
If he calls you up next week from his home in Dallas and says, hey, I want a super fight, do you think he's done enough to earn it? Since I know he had
Colby Covington's next. Colby Covington deserves the next shot.
And final question for me. From this point on, do you think the UFC will have that mentality to keep setting the standard on all around? Because in the boxing side, people see that number that you said was bullshit, the 1.3, and they want to know where the numbers are going to come from the pay-per-view side. What you got to say to that criticism? Because Jake Paul comes out of nowhere, busting all this money, and then people are saying a fake fighter is making real money.
How much did he make?
He made bonus. They said 2.5 to 3 mil.
They said they did fucking 2 million pay-per-view buys too.
At
I
1.3.
don't believe.
It's 1.3.
Okay, I didn't do that either. I don't believe anything they say. That's a fucking circus. That's not a real. And none of that's real. I mean, do you think any of that shit that's going on over there is real? Come on, man. I built a real business here, a real sport. That's a freak show.
Hey, Dana, over here on your left.
Wait, this guy's first. Go ahead.
Last year, you came to Jacksonville under different circumstances. You had 3 events here. This year, full card, full house, everything. Just speak to Jacksonville and Florida's accommodations for you personally and the UFC.
What's the question again?
You came here last year under different circumstances.
Yeah.
This year, you came and sold out the card. Just kind of speak to your dealings with Governor DeSantis, Mayor Curry, and just everybody you dealt with here.
I can't say enough good things. You know, it's like when the pandemic happened, I needed people that were going to help us and work with us and try to make this thing safe and instead of just hiding and saying nothing can be done and just shutting down and laying people off and you know, that's never an answer. So to be able to have like-minded people that were willing to try to pull this thing off safely. And these guys were so good to us coming in. I said, listen, when this thing opens back up, I will reciprocate and I will come back and I'll put on a fight that means something to this city. And you couldn't get a hotel room this weekend in Jacksonville. We tried to get more hotel rooms for people that were coming in. We couldn't. I don't know what your experiences were with restaurants, but restaurants were hard to get into. Bars were packed. I mean, this town was booming this weekend, and that was how I wanted to pay Jacksonville back for what they did for me a year ago to help me run my business.
Will you be back again in Jacksonville? You plan in the future?
Absolutely. I mean, now, you know, what we want to do is we'll move all over Florida and, you know, do a lot of different cities in Florida to repay the governor of this state for everything he's done for us.
Dana, you recently announced Adesanya was going to be fighting Marvin Vettori, and I heard you mention that Robert Whittaker is next. Is that locked in? He doesn't have to worry about fighting another guy. He's earned the right to wait it out?
Well, he should have been. He was who we wanted to fight next.
And then secondly, I'm wondering, because we're now traveling around the United States, Houston, going back to Vegas, I want to ask Abu Dhabi, is Fight Island technically still a thing, or is it that now just we're going to Abu Dhabi annually as before?
No, Fight Island's a thing. I said at the last press conference, I will see you guys soon and walk you through what's next on Fight Island. There's a lot happening on Fight Island.
And then my final question, Rose Namajunas, I feel like sometimes the conception is that she's had an up and down relationship with all the attention that comes with being a UFC champion. I was just wondering, what are your conversations with her? How have they been like, and how she's changed and grown over the years?
No, she's one of the sweetest human beings you'll ever meet. We love Rose. But yeah, Rose doesn't love all the attention when she's the champ and doesn't, you know, it's one of those things that you have to, it's part of the gig. It's part of the deal. But it hasn't made the fans love her any less. I mean, listen to this place tonight. People love Rose Namajunas. So we'll just let Rose be Rose, and I won't mess with her. Let her do her thing.
Congratulations on the night.
Thank you.
Dana back here.
Yeah.
This is obviously an event with massive interest. The last one in January, you kind of went after a lot of streamers. Any streamers this time shut down?
I wasn't even focused on streamers tonight.
That's a first.
Yeah, I had other issues tonight. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure this event went off. Yeah, we didn't even talk about streaming this whole week.
Dana over here.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the strawweight division a lot, and it was a whole year since we saw the last title fight with Whaley and Joanna. I'm assuming you're going to want to hope to maybe have that title a bit more active with the division being so deep right now.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
All right, great. And I know you had a little bit of a small reunion a week or so ago with Nobuyuki Sakakibara, Ryzen founder, Pride founder. Just curious if you can tell us, anything about how that went, what it was about.
Yeah, no, it was good to see him, and yeah, we got together a couple times that week that he was in town and talked, and yeah, it was good.
All right, thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Dana over here.
Hey, Dana.
Go, Shmo's next. Go ahead, Shmo.
Dana, unfortunate situation with Chris Weidman's injury. Where would you say it ranks among the worst injuries you've seen so far?
It's only happened 3 times. Two of the guys that were involved in this. The irony of that whole thing is crazy.
Were you able to see him?
You guys, I'm going to go see him before I leave. Yeah. How loud was that? Holy shit. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, and he yeah, I don't even know what to say about that.
And then lastly, I know you're going to go meet with Nick Diaz, but is it crazy to throw out Khamzat Chimaev as a potential opponent for him?
No. Go ahead.
Dana over here.
Yep.
So with Kamaru's victory tonight, the UFC still has 3 African-born champions, Kamaru, Ngannou, and Adesanya. Is UFC Africa still a strong possibility?
22.
22?
Yeah.
And earlier in this week, you said in an interview that John Jones priced himself out of negotiations by asking for $30 million guaranteed. He later went on Twitter and refuted that claim, saying that he never discussed that figure. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Okay.
Thanks, Dana.
Yeah.
Dana over here. Hi. Sulaiman Falana with BBC Africa. You had prefaced part of my question by saying that Kamaru has come way from when he said 30% to now, the way he's actually been fighting so far recently. In one word, how would you describe Kamaru Usman so far?
I love watching Usman fight. This guy comes in, if you look at him in his early career, he was one of those wrestlers that would come in and take you down, put you against the fence, try to grind you. He has completely evolved as a fighter. He's standing and knocking out Jorge Masvidal. I said it the other day, and I'll say it a million more times. The fight with him and Colby Covington is one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. Those two stood in there toe-to-toe, blasting each other until, Colby went down with a broken jaw. He's not afraid to trade with anybody. He's not afraid to stand with anybody. If he has to wrestle, he wrestles. He's become an unbelievable, well-rounded fighter, one of the greatest ever, and on his way to possibly being the best ever.
Now, you said UFC Africa's 2022. Would you definitely have all 3 African champions on that card if they're still champion by then?
Will I have all of them on there?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll see. You know how quick this landscape changes in a year. We'll see where we're at in 22 when we're planning on going there, and who's where and what's going on. But I also believe that the amount of talent, raw talent that is possibly over there, and if you look at what we did all over the world in places that we've gone, whether it's Europe or we went into Australia, Canada, when we put on live events in these places, it ignites, training facilities start opening up, people start training, and I think you're going to see some bad dudes coming out of Africa in the next 5 to 10 years.
All right, thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
Dana, just a couple more. As far as Usman, are you trying to keep him busy this year? Because you look at this division, I know you said Colby's next, but we have Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards in a couple of weeks. We have Burns and Wonderboy. Like, there's quite a queue building up for him.
Yeah, I don't think there is. Right now, the clear-cut guy right now is Colby. And then we'll see how all these other things play out for the next contender. But, there's no doubt that Colby Covington's the next guy.
And as far as Uriah Hall, I mean, obviously kind of a weird way to get a win tonight, but is this the kind of victory that moves him forward? Because obviously, beats Anderson Silva, beats Chris Weidman, arguably the 2 greatest middleweight champions in UFC history back-to-back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird win, like you said. It's a weird win for him. But, listen, a win is a win. So you didn't really get to see what Uriah's got tonight. But, maybe we can turn him around quick and get him another fight.
Do you worry this is something Chris Weidman might not be able to come back from? I mean, it's not like he's a very young guy. We saw the challenges Anderson Silva had with the same injury.
Let's not. I don't even want to talk about it tonight. I don't want to say anything fucking. Guy's laying in the hospital right now. So let's see how he gets through this injury, and we'll go from there.
We'll send him our best.
Thanks.
Just here. Dana, Amanda and Valentina don't seem to like to talk about the third fight, but people want to see the third fight. Do you see Amanda and Valentina happening anytime soon?
We just talked about this.
Sorry.
Welcome to the press conference. Good to see you.
Sorry.
We literally just talked about this.
Sorry. And now that she's defending Juliana, I heard the randomly is hurt. Where does Irene Aldana stands now? If she have a fight coming soon, if she could be be ready for in case that Juliana gets injured or something like that?
I'll need a translator for that one.
Does Aldana have a fight?
Aldana? Does Aldana have a fight? I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know the answer to that question, sir.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah? Have a good night, you guys. Thanks.
All right, there he is. Dana White, a lot to unpack there, and a successful night for the UFC. Big gate, biggest in VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena history. 2 performances of the night. Went to Kamaru Usman and Rose Namajunas, the fight of the night. Went to the fight that I chose as the low-key banger of the night. Aori Kulang and Jeff Molina. They each get $50,000. But I mean, this could have gone a number of different ways. Brendan Allen had a finish. Randy Brown had a one-arm rear naked choke. I thought he was a lock for $50K. I mean, Valentina Shevchenko had the best friggin' performance of her career. She could have got $50K tonight too. So I mean, I'm sure they'll all get a couple shekels in their bank accounts.
I thought this was more one of those four performance bonuses nights, but congratulations to the fight of the night winners.
Yeah, you could have done 4 performance bonuses and a fight of the night. It's a special night.
I know, man. They made $3.3 million. A big pay-per-view. Come on, Dana. Give them fighters some extra cash. But yeah. Overall, he seemed to be in a good mood.
Pretty much, until he talked about Jake Paul and Triller.
Giving them a bunch of free advertisement.
I mean, he didn't say their name, but he just called a bunch of phony balonies. So there we go. We heard from Dana. We got some champs to hear from. But what about Nick Diaz? Seems like he wants to fight. Yes, not funny. This was not funny. This was serious. Nick Diaz, looking in good shape, wants to fight.
Nick Diaz and Shemaev.
Dana didn't turn down Hamzat. I hate that fight.
Why do you hate it?
I don't like it.
Who do you like for Nick? Do you put Nick on the Legends tour, or do you throw him to the top, kind of put him give him a prospect? Where you put him? Where do you put him?
Throw him in there with Masvidal.
So someone better, or is that higher up? Just a bigger name, or
fight would do bonkers numbers. Be huge.
You're just thinking, okay, get a little kickback.
Masvidal's lost 2 in a row. No, Masvidal's lost 2 in a row. Makes sense. I mean, that'd be a big fight. You didn't even, like, if there's a, I mean, look at all the title fights that we have booked. Speaking of titles, the flyweight champion of the world after her great performance tonight against
Valentina,
Jessica Andrade, the Bullets.
What seemed like a pretty flawless performance. I'm sure you want to go back and watch it and that sort of thing. But how are you feeling after a fight like that?
Feels amazing. It's the best feeling that anyone can have. Like every victory, it's bring a lot of happiness, and definitely when you finish like earlier by like stoppage or whatever, it brings more feelings. And third, it's all fans. It's made a big difference. It was like, it's totally different feeling. It's so much energy leading to the fight. And you know, it's kind of like you walk out to the fight in certain level of energy. When I heard everyone like rowing and like saying my name, my energy went like to the ceiling, all the way up.
Did you anticipate that? I mean, obviously you fought in front of packed arenas before, but did you maybe forget like how that feels to a degree?
It's definitely, I definitely forget how it feels, but I'm glad that I had opportunity to remind everything. It was great. It was great, and I'm so happy, so proud to be one of the first ones, one of the first fighters who fought in this huge event after the whole fighting in silence, and it was amazing. And I really hope and I believe that it's going to be big step toward normal life, having more states open for this kind of events, because I think it's very important and for all people, fans, fighters, everything, everyone.
As far as your performance, I mean, obviously you're a well-rounded fighter, but the takedowns, it was incredible how many you had. And did you know going in, like, hey, we're going to be able to take her down with ease, or did you just think, like, as it unfolded, hey, let's go with that?
It was not the plan. It was not that, okay, I will have to go for takedown. I will wrestle her. It was not the plan. My plan was simple, to go there and dominate. I didn't know how I gonna do it, like striking, wrestling, grappling. I didn't know exactly, but I prepared everything. And my body is kind of like choosing by itself what tactic it's gonna use, depending of my opponent. And once it's like feel her power, like what is the best way, it's just like doing what it has to do.
Once you got in the crucifix, you started throwing the elbows and you started throwing them really fast. It looked like you knew the finish was there. So what clicked? I mean, did you feel her break a little bit, or did you just know she was in a bad spot, not getting out?
First, I felt that I'm very heavy on her, and there is no way she can get out of that position. And I threw a few elbows and I saw blood. Then I throw a little bit more. I hear the voice of referee going here, like, Jessica, defend herself. And I saw that she cannot defend herself. And then definitely I accelerate a lot in my elbows.
I'm wondering, kind of a weird question, but as you were getting ready for this fight, did you see what happened with Chris Weidman before your fight? And I wonder, was that difficult, right? I mean, you've got to walk to the cage after seeing that. Can you talk to me about what was going through your mind? And
oh my God, it's like I'm not wish to any fighter this kind of injuries, because it's like so much they have to heal, and it's like it's bad. And I was kind of, we had TV in our changing room. When I saw it, I turned my head, I turned out, and it was like I could not watch it even before the fight, because it's like it was so bad. And before the fights, a lot of questions I had about like calf kicks, and I told every time it can be very good but very dangerous. It's dangerous not only for your opponent but for you too. And this is like when you throw these kicks, like low kicks, you have to prepare for this, because so many breaks happen in shin to shin, or when you kick to the knee. That's why it's like, for me, it's not the best technique. You have to be very careful.
last thing for me, I mean, your reign is so dominant at this point. I mean, people are saying there's nobody that can beat you. I mean, what does appeal to you? I know you said, hey, just line them up and I'll fight them. But are there any, whether it be names, whether it be, things you want to accomplish? I mean, what is it that you want to do?
I just want to, I don't know, for me, it seems like very simple when you like, okay, this name or that name. It's like everyone does that, the names. I want to do something different. I want to do like just continue, be, show and be real martial artist. Just like not someone who, okay, this name is convenient. It looks like more bringing more like stuff, or as this one, it's like not so. I just don't like these things. I want like to be very honest in what I do and just like continue what I do in my weight class and my weight division. Doesn't matter who's gonna be in front of me. I just want to fight them to prove that I'm better. And I really like that how this fight played before the fight. What people created so much interest about, like, oh, Jessica, she bring like so much, and even like. Some people, they was doubting like if I can handle it, but from one point I just didn't want to say anything before the fight. I really liked it because from one side it's creating some kind of interest for the fight, and everyone like, oh, maybe this is something. But I was so sure in my power, what I can do and what I can bring. That's why I was like, okay, it's going to be a surprise for you. I will let you believe in your power. But
Valentina at the front. Dana was just in here, and he said he felt like you were angry all week, like you wanted to prove people wrong, and he was building up Jessica Andrade, and maybe you wanted to prove him wrong too. Was that your mindset at all this week?
I tried to not bring any emotional things inside of the fight, but I felt more it's about fans. They bring me this like feeling what I had today. It's like I said, my energy just striked all the way up, and I felt like, okay. And you know, it's kind of interesting if you could see like fights what I had before. For example, when I fought Holly Holm, everyone was thinking that she gonna outstrike me. No. My body decided I will outstrike her. And when I fought Juliana Pena, everyone said, oh, it's going to be like submission. If they go to the ground, Juliana going to submit her. No, I submit her. So my body decided, not me. I just prepared it for doing this.
And did you get a chance to see Rose's head kick knockout? What did you make of that?
I saw just a little bit. I saw not there like... at the moment, just a little bit because we did some interviews. But, you know, like I told it from the beginning that Rose gonna win this fight, that I believe that Rose can do it. And I don't know, like people still doubting, but I told it.
Over here, Valentina, where does your cerebral assassin mindset come from? Because, like, you stay in the moment, but it's like you'll shoot somebody and just walk away like a certified gangster. Where does that come from?
I don't know. It's maybe just I am like that. When it's time to action, I just like convert in total different person. And I don't know. It's I've been in martial arts for so long, 28 years. I do martial arts. 28 years. Now fighters, they have 21, 22, but I'm fighting 28 years. And it's just like everything that I do, because I know exactly that inside of the octagon, they want to hurt you. Your opponent wants to hurt you. She's not gonna have pity for you. If she has opportunity to break your arm, she will do it. She will have everything to win. And I not gonna let her do that things. That's why I just convert me in this like kind of person who has to take the victory, who has to dominate the fight, who has to see everything what opponent's gonna bring to the fight.
And of course, you're in this sport to be the best. So this is a two-part question. One, does it piss you off the fact that they have you perennially number 2 pound-for-pound woman in the world? And do you have to see Amanda one more time before your career is over for you to be satisfied? Or if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't.
I can say exactly about my fighter career. It's not gonna over soon. I'm planning to fight for a long time. And, you know, I feel that this fight is just gonna happen. And I'm not gonna like push it in saying like, oh, give me Amanda right now, I'm gonna break her face. I'm not gonna say it because I know this fight gonna happen. And it's gonna happen just naturally when everyone will feel like there is no more. Only this fight makes sense for everyone. When like all fans, they're gonna like, oh, we want to this we want to see this fight. When you see when Dana White was like, oh, we just need this fight. And I think that when it's time happen, it's going to be something big and huge. And I will be ready for this. I'm already ready for this, but I will make sure to gain some pounds back.
Final question for me: who do you want to see next to the octagon, and how big a deal is it to clear out the division? Just kind of like you said, do you think that will force everybody's hand that you get that fight that you want in the back of your head?
Right now, it's hard for me to think. I know it's like everyone you're wanted to hear the name and try and like straight after the fight, like give me the next name, right? But it's hard for me to do it right now because when I prepared for Jessica, I was thinking only about Jessica. I don't know. I even don't know who's gonna fight in my flyweight division next. I don't know who's next they're fighting because I was so focused on my fight. And now I coming back tomorrow home. I will start to see what's happening in flyweight, and of course. I will help my sister in her training camp because she's fighting UFC 262 in Houston. I will rest tomorrow, Sunday, but Monday I will back to the gym to help her in her preparation.
Valentina, okay. Valentina, this may seem like a weird question. Was that fight easy? Because it certainly looked like it at times.
It's like I make my training camp so hard. That's why the fight looks easy. And my coach, Pavel Fedotov, he's like every single training, he's putting me in all difficult positions. And we are trying to focus on what my opponent gonna do, what strategy they're gonna have. Even something they usually don't do, we're still working on it. And that's why I'm trying very hard to make my fight easy. And this is what I want from my fight. Yes, to make them look easy, but if you see my preparation and what I did for the training camp, you would not say that.
What are you most proud of in your growth as a martial artist since you've been a champion?
What I'm proud that my team, it's the best team. This is what I'm proud the most. And I just feel so lucky that I have people who surround me. They are so amazing. And it's for me, it's the most important because leading to the fight, leading to training camp, they just give me this positive energy and motivation to keep doing what I'm doing. And I think this is the maybe the secret of success, because what people surrounds you, it's give you something extra.
We've heard some athletes over the years, even after a big game, they're just so motivated, they'll still train the next day after a big match. They'll still go work out in something. I know your sister is obviously fighting, so you're going to be part of her camp, but Valentina, tomorrow, will you still go for a run? Will you still do any workout?
No way. I did train for it a long time. I'm not that crazy one. I'm obsessed with martial art, but not so.
How will you celebrate something like tonight?
Tonight, we have friends. They came from different states, from Colorado, from Nevada, from New Jersey, from Kansas, from different states, and we just gonna have a little party. Our I could say family party. I really like it. Keep it very family small, and for me it's it's feeling you for the new explore, for the new things to do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Valentina back here. Flawless performance out there tonight. Looks like you barely even fought, if at all. Are you thinking about when you might want to get back in there next?
As soon as UFC gonna give me the next name, I'm ready to get back. Yes, I feel great. I feel amazing. And my goal didn't change. I want to fight more frequently. It's not every time depends on me. I know media was bringing during the last media days, what we have a lot that last few years I was fighting twice a year. And like, I never count, but they told me. But goal still the same. It was not because of I wanted it. It just was certain circumstances why I could not fight, but I still want to fight more frequently.
Of course, and you mentioned your 28 years in martial arts. I'm just curious, from your standpoint and being such a big part of history, for the women in mixed martial arts, what would you say the defining moment has been for them?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Just throughout the history of MMA, for the women specifically, do you think that there's one specific moment that kind of stands out among the rest as like, that's our moment that like, really solidifies the power of the women in mixed martial arts?
I think probably yes. This is like the time for female martial arts. And this is a great time because, it's not because only like through the everything, it's like saying woman has to go forward. It's not only because of that. It's the most important that women, they are now so strong, so technically strong. So if you look back at the fighters like back few years ago, they was more simple, not that universal. But now we can see exactly fighters who can bring like a lot of martial arts, a lot of beautiful arts, and stay like attractive, beautiful, and like feminine, do all the things. And it's like, it's kind of combination what make it like the best time for us to do our thing.
Well said. Thank you, Valentina. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Valentina, right over here. Congratulations on another spectacular performance. The crowd really got behind you tonight. How did that contribute to your success?
It was amazing. It was the best feeling. And, it's kind of like, I just feel that I have extra motor like behind me working and like pushing me forward to go. And like, because when I was going out for the fight, and I heard everyone like screaming my name, and I heard, it was amazing. I even cannot like explain what I feel because it's so huge, so big.
And last one from me. We've seen you on the big screen co-starring with the likes of Halle Berry. Should we expect to see you cast another movie soon?
I hope so. I can't wait to see the premiere of the movie because it's like so. I definitely know it's going to be very, very wonderful thing. And Halle Berry, she called me after the fight. She congratulated me, and she's kind of person who brings so much good vibes, good energy. And she was like wishing me luck leading to the fight. And it's like it's everything. It's bringing me so much motivation to have this fight what I had. Because knowing that people like rooting for me, like Halle Berry or like Mickey Rourke or like everyone, all my fans, it's like, it's amazing.
Thanks, Valentina.
Valentina, por aquí en español, por favor. Dos preguntas. La primera, ¿qué se siente ser tan dominante en el UFC con tantas defensas y seguir ganando campeonatos y de esta manera tan dominante? ¿Cómo te sientes? ¿Qué se siente?
Se siente, no sé, yo así la persona como no puedo decir, se siente tan bien, maravilloso. No, se siente que yo tengo que entrenar de la misma manera. La misma manera, tal vez más duro y más duro, porque yo sé que cada uno quiere mostrar su poder, cada uno de mis contrincantes, y yo solamente no puedo dar esta oportunidad para ellos, porque yo sé exactamente, si yo no voy a entrenar, ellos están entrenando duro, y esto es que me motiva para que mostrar mi poder, mi técnica, mi arte dentro del octágono y seguir ganando mi cinturón, defenderlo.
¿Y hay algún rival, alguna rival que tú digas, yo quiero pelear con esta rival, me es interesante como artista marcial, quiero ver cómo peleo contra ella? ¿Hay algún rival, algún contrincante que pienses en tu división?
Yo creo que en esta etapa ellos están buscando peleas conmigo y yo soy dispuesta a pelear con ellos, pero no, todos van a decir mi nombre, yo no.
Valentina, usted decía que la pelea con Amanda Nunes iba a pasar naturalmente. ¿Cree usted que la presión del fanático que quiere ver la tercera pelea, que esa presión va a obligar a Amanda a venir a pelear con usted?
Oh, yo no sé, no puedo meterme en su cabeza y saber qué está pensando, pero esta conversación que está siempre en el aire sobre mi Amanda, está durando como, no sé, 3, 4 años. Entonces ya estoy acostumbrada para esto. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, everyone.
Valentina, can we take a picture with the belt?
There she is, as Dana White called her, the demon, Valentina Shevchenko. Flawless performance. I mean, just when you thought she couldn't do it any better, she went out there and did it better tonight. I mean, that was some showing tonight. This fight was not close for a second. And she gets it done. And listen, she's got options right now. There's a couple of big ones at 125 that are going to be happening in the next 2 months. We got big one with Chukagian and Araujo coming up on May 15th. That's a very interesting fight. And then we got Lauren Murphy versus Joanne Calderwood on June 12th. So it's kind of like a mini tournament in a way to the best one left standing, who has the best performance, gets that shot. I kind of like what's happening at 125 right now.
Do you think Chukagian has a shot at a rematch?
I don't think she.
Okay, I don't think she's part of the tournament. Yeah, I don't think she's part of that tournament. But I know what you're saying.
She could play spoiler, but Araujo certainly, if she goes out there and beats Caitlin Chukagian, she's in the mix, no doubt about it.
I would rather have Araujo face either Murphy or Calderwood, and one of those women, either Calderwood or Murphy, just fight Valentina right now. Well, whenever Valentina's next fight is. I don't think there's a reason to limit your options for Valentina, because you got to get. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I don't think you're limited to anything. I think it's just whoever has the best performance out of the two winners gets the title shot, and then
what if Caitlin has the best? Chukagian has the best performance.
Then whoever wins Murphy Calderwood gets the title shot. It's a 3-horse race in a 4-person tournament.
Just try your best, Chukagian. Just try your best.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if she goes out there and does something like ridiculous, who knows?
Yeah,
maybe the people clamor for it.
So of the 3 title fights, okay, and this is why MMA is freaking amazing. I mean, we watch a zillion fights, and I don't think any of us predicted those finishes tonight in that style. Maybe Shevchenko, but I picked Andrade for the upset, but I was just shocked at the dominance of Shevchenko, like how she's just getting better and better. Which of the 3 title fights, what were you most like, whoa, I didn't see that, but how could I not seen that?
I mean, the Shevchenko one, I picked the fight ending that way, just a round later. I thought it was going to be 3rd round TKO, exactly like that.
But did you think she could control the wrestling and just be so much stronger than Andrade? That was just shocked me. I thought Andrade would maybe be too aggressive and get like countered or something, and drop hard. But the way she lost, I think it was shocking. That's how I thought Andrade may win, not Shevchenko.
I didn't think Andrade would do nothing. Like I mean, it wasn't that she did nothing. It's just Valentina wouldn't let her do anything.
Yeah,
I didn't think we'd see that. I thought maybe Andrade would get like a takedown or something, something. It just didn't happen. I mean, that was just some performance. Rose knocking Weili out in the 1st round didn't surprise me, because if Rose was going to do it, that's how she was going to do it. The longer the fight went, the more it favored Weili Zhang. And speaking of Rose Namajunas, once again, the strawweight champion, here she is.
Doug Rose.
Hey.
Rose, congratulations. Obviously, just an absolutely incredible victory for you. I mean, we saw the emotion pouring out there in the cage, but now you've had a little chance to soak it in. I mean, what's the feel like for you right now?
Still on cloud nine. It's like Dr. Camille was using the analogy earlier about, you're kind of comparing your head and your emotions to like a snow globe being shaken up. So, well, snowflakes is falling. Yeah.
You didn't get a whole lot of cage time with her, but obviously she had some crazy fights before. What did you see? I mean, did she move like you thought she was? Strength, speed, all those things?
Yeah, I mean, she definitely was quick. I was expecting that. I was also expecting her to be very determined and very, just ready. And I was ready to go 25 minutes if it had to go to that. So, yeah, obviously it was pretty short, but I, got my range on her. I have really good timing. And, thanks to my coaches and my preparation, this was, that's kind of the product.
The high kick was perfect. Did you go in like thinking that would be a weapon that you could use, or is it just something that you saw?
Yeah, I've been building my dexterity and my legs a lot lately. It's just been something that's been happening over time. And, I have a Taekwondo background, and I have I think it's like the longest leg reach in the female division. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's up there. So that's something that once we got Trevor's fundamentals in the jab and the boxing fundamentals for MMA, we just start adding in them Pat Barry kicks in there again.
In the cage, you addressed everything that happened before the fight. I'm just curious, was it difficult? Did it break your concentration? Was it difficult, to not be talking about a fight anymore? We're talking about these comments that were made. Was that hard for you in the build-up for this?
It was a little hard just because that wasn't my intent. I was just being myself and trying to talk about my history and stuff and my story. Nothing, never was personal against Weili. These are just, obviously, I don't know. Every opponent's a little different, and it kind of brings something out of you. But yeah, and never was my intent. But it's something that I was thankful for the obstacle to overcome that, because every champion goes through, I think, the ups and downs of people loving them and people hating them at the same time.
So what steps do you take now, right? You openly talked about the pressures of being a champion and all that, but hey, now I'm ready for it, and it's clear it means something to you. But what steps do you take now to make sure that you don't reach that same place again?
Just make sure that I give back, I have to kind of talk with my team and figure out exactly how I want to do that. I know that there's some things on the horizon. There's in May, there's an Earthship build that I was maybe thinking about participating in. But we'll see what's the best route of action going forward.
Last thing for me, I'm sure you're going to want to enjoy this. And the great thing about being champions, you don't have to match make, right? They come to you. But is there anything that most appeals to you? I mean, do you feel like a rematch would be fun to make sure that, people know this is, you're the true champion? Or do you feel like there's other names that make more sense? Is there anything you want to fight next?
No one really... there's no obvious answer at the moment. I kind of want to see how, Carla and Jan play out. If that's next month, right? Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah.
Rose over here, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're big about being the best version of yourself. Was this the best version of Rose Namajunas that we've ever seen in the octagon tonight?
I would say so. Yeah. Just everything, my discipline, my focus, my preparation, the team, just everything going into it. I just was myself the entire time.
And how much did being in a similar situation at UFC 217 come into play? I know it's a different thing with Joanna, but kind of same situation. People were counting you out. You a very good champion, and you showed up and showed out and closed the show that night. Is that something like, I done this once, I could do it again? Or was it completely separate times in your life?
Yeah, I think that, there were some similarities. There's always going into every fight, the natural human kind of thinking patterns are last time it was like this, or this time it's going to be like that. And, I just had to keep reminding myself that no expectations, I just was focusing on just performing and being my best self, and then whatever the result is, I can't control that. I just can only control how I react to things and just control my own emotions. So that's all I was focused on.
How does it feel that hear Dana say now that you're the first woman to ever get her belt back and to be a two-time strawweight champion? Do you think this punched your ticket to be a future Hall of Famer? I know you're still in the middle of your career.
I mean, you know, I'm all about setting records, so let's keep doing it.
So we say safe to say that you're focused now on being the GOAT of the division.
I don't know if that's always been my focus. You know, if that happens, that happens. But for me, it's all about just doing whatever it is that I can to give back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rose, what did you think of Kamaru's finish in the main event?
Oh, it was beautiful, beautiful hook cross. Like that was, you know, he's been putting a lot of work in with Trevor, and it showed. You know, I mean, I didn't get to watch like every minute of that fight because I was, you know, backstage myself, but that finish was amazing.
Hey, Rose.
Hey, oh.
Go ahead. Does getting the belt this time feel better than getting the belt the first time?
Yeah, I think so. The first time, it definitely that was a whole unique experience in itself. I mean, it's almost like, you know, I don't like to play favorites with my fights, even my losses. You know, they're all part of the journey, and I wouldn't take it back for anything. So, obviously, the first time was special in itself, but this time, I really loved the experience going into this one and kind of having things to expect, but then not really at the end of the day, just kind of just going with it and going with the flow.
Your teammate, Kamaru Usman, he predicted that you get the knockout unembedded.
Yeah.
Did you know you were going to get the knockout?
I felt like there was a really good chance that I could drop her for sure. My power is something different, you know. It's not a lot of girls hit like me. So, and that's just something that I've been over time believing in a little more and more.
And lastly, Joanna, she wants a rematch. She wants a shot at the title. Do you think you're going to have some say at who you're going to be fighting next, or will you take whoever the UFC gives you?
I mean, yeah, I could probably do whatever I want right now, you know. So it's just a matter of what seems appealing to me at the moment. So it's just you know, kind of have to let things settle, I think, for a bit.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Hey, Rose. So Trevor obviously coached both you and Kamaru. Whose after party is he going to?
Well, you know, we just gonna be chilling. So you know, I'm sure. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I think there's this idea out there, you know, how does Rose feel about all the attention that comes with having the belts? And you talked about it a little bit. It's like, you know, you want it to be different this time around. Can you just discuss that a little bit now that it is right back there in front of you and around your waist?
Yeah. I want to, you know, produce fruit with this, you know, with this seed that I've been given. So I just want to get back, and I think that's going to be the main focus right now.
Thank you, and congrats.
Thank you.
Rose back here. You know, Dana mentioned that he sounds a little bit interested in maybe a rematch with Weili right away. Is that something you think you should wait on, or would you be open to it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we'll talk about it. It's understandable that she's pretty upset about how that, you know, how quickly it went and everything like that. But you know, that was perfect time and everything like that. So I'll be open to it, you know, and we'll have to see.
And you know, you're good friends with Valentina, who just wants to be insanely active as a champion. Are you hoping to be kind of the same way and just fight as much as possible at this point?
Yeah, that's something that I've been wanting to be more active for a while now, but you know, just roadblocks and, you know, life gets in the way, or just, you know, broken nose and you know, all that stuff. So if that's what, you know, is in my path, I will do that.
And last thing for me, you know, you've been a solid part of history, obviously breaking these records and all this, have these great moments. Just for the women in mixed martial arts, and, you know, having been a part of the history, like I mentioned, what would you say has been the defining moment for women in MMA?
The defining moment in women's MMA. Gosh, I mean, there's so many, right? You know, you got Ronda Rousey, who, you know, opened the door for us into the UFC, and then you got and all of her amazing fights, and then Amanda Nunes, who took it to a whole nother level, and you know, and then I guess I set my own record by, you know, getting this thing twice. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm just like humbled and flattered to be a part of this whole journey and just be a part of it.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Rose.
Thank you.
Rose, right over here.
Yep.
First of all, congratulations on a great performance.
Thank you.
The fans were showing you love all week, and it reached deafening points tonight as you got the belt wrapped around your waist. As one of the few people who ever get to experience that kind of moment, can you please describe how that made you feel?
Made me feel so grateful and humble and blessed.
Thanks, Rose.
Thank you. Cool. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, there she is, Rose Namajunas, once again the UFC strawweight champion. And an interesting statistic that I just saw courtesy of UFC News on Twitter. In terms of like overall cage time for a main card, UFC 261, the shortest, third shortest in company history. UFC 29 for the final 5 fights, 19 minutes and 10 seconds total. UFC 91, which was headlined by Randy Couture versus Brock Lesnar, 19 minutes, 23 seconds. This card in at number 3, 20 minutes, 56 seconds of total cage time in the 5 main card fights tonight. It's wild.
Ooh.
That's wild to think about. Number 4, to round out the top 5, number 4 was UFC 55, 21-19, and then UFC 146, Dos Santos versus Mir, 21-50. The total time on that one.
Well, clearly, the pay-per-view fighters saw some of the wacky judges and the scoring from some of the prelims, and they were like, "Nope, we gotta can't let it go to the judges." Oh man,
I remember UFC 146 very, very well.
Oh, yeah,
that was the night before I got married. Oh, Jose's here. Hi,
What's
Jose.
up, guys? Let's say we got a little bit of
What's
time.
happening?
Tomorrow might be taking a bit. Guys, did you notice the hat is gone from the stage?
The UFC hat. Yeah, did someone take it? What happened?
Oh no, I think you should go back and look what is on that hat.
Oh man,
it was a
they had a Reebok hat.
It was a Reebok hat the entire time.
Reebok. Ooh, boo. Reebok was never my friend.
Who's that?
Reebok was never my friend.
Who's that?
I only drink Body Armor. Wait, is Body Armor still a sponsor?
Well, guys.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, look who's here.
Hey.
Kumar, congratulations. I mean, obviously a huge win for you no matter what, but I mean, to do it in that type of fashion, pretty incredible. So just what's the emotion like for you after a performance like that?
Just amazing. I mean, I put a lot of time into this, and shout out to Masvidal. I mean, he I had to bring my A game. He elevated me. He gave me that extra oomph that I needed, in training. So I'm just blessed to be in this time right now.
I know, obviously, you're confident in yourself and you're confident your striking skills are improving, but I do wonder, I mean, as you guys were game planning, was there ever a part where you're like, we could just go knock the guy out? That'd be easy.
Absolutely. There's 2 setups to that right hand that I just envisioned them landing, and that one was one of them. I tried the second one in the first round, but he's a veteran. He's game, and he saw it coming. So I just had to stay composed, and I was going to find it.
What was going through your mind during that opening round, right? Because you had the takedown, you controlled him a bit, but it looked like you were being very aggressive on the feet a little bit as well. So how did you feel things were playing out?
I was like, it's a whole lot of energy in this building right now. It's a little different than just being in that Apex fighting. It's a little different, but we had to stay composed and go out there and take care of business.
You touched on the nerves that you felt the first time around, especially, right? I mean, the short notice and everything that was going on. Did you feel those same nerves tonight against him?
I felt nerves, but, not as severe as that one. I mean, there was a lot of circumstances flying all the way across the world, not sleeping the whole time. I truly had only maybe 4 days to try to prepare for that, going into it with the broken nose, really, really bad bunion on my right foot. And, it was tough for me to deal with. But I still chose like a champion. I still chose to go in there and defend my title. And, I needed to put a definitive finish on that chapter and flip the page, and I did that tonight.
Dana was here earlier, and he said you're clearly one of the best in the world right now, on your way to being one of the greatest ever. To hear that type of praise from him, I wonder if it means something to you, because obviously we know the history, right? There were times when maybe he wasn't your biggest fan. So to hear him converted, does that mean something to you?
Well, it's just he's understanding what I set out to do. I have big goals for myself, and I want to see it truly on Monday, pound for pound. Right now, I'm the best fighter on the planet, and I just want to see that on Monday.
Now, the reward for this victory is you get Colby Covington, it sounds like. I'm just curious, does the idea of that matchup excite you because you'd like to go in there and beat him again, maybe silence him, or is it like, my God, I know what I'm going to have to deal with for, however many months this thing builds up, and do you dread it almost?
I mean, I've finished really my last 3 opponents. I finished them all. And so right now it's just, I just need to, take some time and continue to train and get better. But these guys got to show me something, because right now I'm the champion. I'm the most active guy in the division. These guys can't just wait around and wait for me to, call their number. They need to show me something. But I've asked Dana. I fought any and everyone they put in front of me. I never said no. These guys ducked me for years. But I got here and I haven't ducked anyone. And so, like I said, this is like a track meet. I'm so far ahead of these guys. I'm coming around the track, and I'm coming around with vengeance right now.
Last thing for me, you said, hey, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, so I want to stay active. I want to get what I can do. Do you have an idea? Is it too soon, or do you know how you feel right now, like when we would see you again, whether it be Colby or somebody else?
I feel good, and that's the most important thing. I feel good. I'm just blessed to be here. I'm living in the moment, and that's just where I want to stay.
What was it like putting the belt around your father?
It was amazing. I mean, my family's finally complete, and to have him experience that, especially in front of a crowd like that, and feel that energy, is nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it.
And then you obviously strike me as someone that the boos don't really get to them. So when you're walking out and you hear all those boos and then you go and do what you just did, does that make this a little more sweet that you did in the state he claims?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make me any difference. I competed in the gym with maybe 10 people wrestling for years, and I've done it in front of a sold-out crowd at the T-Mobile Arena, and breaking someone's jaw. So, boos or chairs, it doesn't really, make a difference to me. I just have to go out there being professional, and I do my job, and that's what I do best.
Come on over here. Do you think finally this performance that they're gonna finally put some respect on your name?
Well, that's up to them. That's not up to me. But I just need to continue to do what I do, and that's dominate each and every individual. And that's, my last 3 opponents, and I finished all 3 of them.
What else do you think you need to do to be the GOAT of 170 of all time? Because we don't have that image of you getting knocked out that GSP had.
I don't worry about that. I take it a fight at a time. If people want to consider me the best, then they can. But as of right now, I do believe that right now, pound for pound, I am the best fighter on the planet.
If you finish that second lap and lap the field, would you ever move up for a mega fight at 185?
I would definitely, but not if Israel is at that weight. That's my brother, and like I said, I've said it before. I'd rather 2 Nigerians with belts than 1 with 2 belts.
What do you think about Dana saying that UFC Africa is a big possibility in 2020? How much does that get your blood going to be part of that and make history again over there in the motherland?
Oh, man, I'm ecstatic. I can't wait. I know there's some things some hoops we need to jump through, but once we jump through them, sign me up.
All right. I imagine when you were thinking about this fight in advance of it, possibly the most satisfying way to end it would be to knock him out on the feet in the manner you did. So to actually pull that off, how satisfied are you with this victory?
I'm satisfied. That's what I said. I wasn't satisfied with the last one, and I wanted to be satisfied tonight, and I got that.
What do you think Jorge goes from here, right? Because he's made himself a superstar, but now he's lost to you twice. What do you think his position is in the division?
Okay, there's something I just want to touch on about that. I'm growing in this sport, and I'm growing with integrity. I worked my ass off to get to the point where I am. A lot has been made of, this guy's a superstar, this guy's a, yeah, I understand, more power to him. But for myself, I am all those things as well. I just show it in a different way. Leading up to this fight, I didn't have to show me flying in a private jet or this car or that car. I like nice things too, don't get it wrong. But I need to show people that it's important for them to see the work that goes behind it. I worked for all these things. I worked for the chance to deserve all those nice things. I might have not came in a private jet, but I damn sure I'm leaving them.
I saw you and Jorge spoke in the octagon after the fight. Would you mind just sharing what you said to each other?
Just respect. I respect any man that's willing to get in there and share that octagon with me. And he elevated me. He motivated me to get better, and I did. And just respect to him.
Would it be fair to say that some of the issues you and him had before this fight aren't necessarily with each other, but perhaps some of the people around each other?
Possibly. It's fair to say that.
You said you want to see something from Colby, and I understand what you mean by the division, kind of people sort of wait for their shot. Would you rather not give it to Colby next, knowing that he's just done what Jorge has done and sat out, waiting until essentially you would pick him?
I don't worry about these guys. Like I said, my daughter allowed me to go away for 6 weeks to prepare for this fight. And so that's the only person I owe, something to. I owe her a vacation, and I owe her some time to just love on her and be home with her. That's the most important thing to me. But like I said, these guys need to show me something, motivate me to not just stomp feet, motivate me to do something. And, once they do that, then, we'll see who's next.
Last one from me. Dana White says Nick Diaz is coming back to fight and is entering possibly your division. Any interest?
If Nick wants to get in here and deal with this African lion, more power to him. Thanks, man.
Kamaru over here. Kamaru, I asked Rose this, and I want to ask you this. Trevor Whitman coached both of you guys to big wins. Whose after party is he going to?
He's probably going home, going to sleep because he's got an early flight. But yeah, Rose is, like I've said before, she's a special athlete, and she proved that tonight.
How motivating was it to see? I'm assuming you knew that, she just took her out with a head kick in the back, even if you didn't watch it. What was that like before you get out there?
No, I saw it, and I saw her train that, and I knew that could land. So I was ecstatic. I was extremely excited for her. I know how much she put into this. And, I'm blessed, and I'm thankful to be able to be at this moment to see her accomplish that.
If I'm not mistaken, only 5 fighters in UFC history have ever gotten 13 wins in a row. You have 14. There's only one guy, Anderson Silva, who ever had more with 16. Does a number like that mean anything to you after everything you've done?
No, I worry about the next one. If I don't take care of the next one, then I don't get to that number. So I'm worried about the next one and the next one and the next one. And, we'll see what happens.
What kind of effect did it have on you, just for your mood, to have Francis Ngannou, the new heavyweight champion, there with you this week?
It was great because if anything popped off in this hallway, if one of y'all want to get lippy, I'm just going to, have him jump in here and clean house. So, yeah, that feeling's great.
Respectfully, Israel, 2 title defenses. Ngannou just got his belt. You've got, you're the most dominant African champion in the UFC right now. You still think Ngannou would be the main event over you in Africa?
I'm the most dominant champion in the UFC, period. And like I said, next week, I want to see that pound for pound list because I think right now I am the best pound for pound. But when it comes to Africa, how you deny the heavyweight champion the main event spot? So you guys can argue with him about that.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Hey, champ. All things considered, fans back in attendance, your family here, everything. Best performance of your career so far?
I mean, the energy was electric. I'm like I said, I'm satisfied with that one.
And being real for a second, you put him out when he went and hit the canvas. Did it feel good to get some of those extra shots in there?
I mean, extra shots? What do you mean?
Maybe 1 or 2?
Those extra shots? The ref didn't pull me off yet, so, I keep going until the ref pulls me off. And, those are super necessary.
And I got to say, lastly, you did predict the knockout unembedded with Rose. You called it.
Yes, like I said, she's a special athlete, and I'm amazed to be able to watch her perform.
And has it settled in yet? Because you're a surefire Hall of Famer. What you're going to wear to that induction ceremony?
No, like I said, I don't worry about that. When I'm 50 and I'm sitting in the rocking chair and watching my daughter, do her thing and maybe grandkids, then I can look back and say, man, you know what? I did some pretty cool things. But right now, I'm just taking it time at a time.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Kamaru, Sulaiman Falani, BBC Africa. All week, everything that was said was he had the city, he had the crowd, he had the state. But no one mentioned that you had 1.2 billion people supporting you on a continent somewhere else. How big a win was this for you today? Knowing fully well that you're not only the first African, but every time you step into that octagon, you represent the most populous black nation in the world.
It meant a tremendous amount because, like I said, you know, growing up, you don't see, I didn't see role models like myself. And that's what I want to be. I want to be that role model to motivate everyone from Nigeria, from Morocco, from Cameroon, all the way down to South Africa. I want to motivate them and let them know that, hey, this can be done. So this one was extremely satisfying for me tonight.
You said there are only 2 fighters that you felt like you didn't take their soul. You feel like you took your soul tonight? Was this a baptism?
I had to go out there and I definitely blessed him. I did. I blessed him. You know, he pushed me. He motivated me to come out there and do what I did tonight. And I'm just happy and I'm just blessed.
So you come across as a tough guy, but I found out today that you're daddy's boy. Did you plan to actually have that belt wrapped around his waist, or that just was something that
Absolutely.
happened?
You know, you envision it in your mind, and the crazy thing is you just can't wait to see it all unfold. And when it's actually unfolding, it's a surreal moment. So I'm blessed to be living in this moment right now.
Couple more from me. We're Africans, and our parents work a lot. They're barely there when we have school events or athletic events. You're a father now. Your daughter's based in Florida. You're training in Colorado. Are you going to be moving to Colorado full time? And does that mean you move your daughter to Colorado with you, or are you going to be shuttling back between Colorado and Florida?
For now, I'm just going to be doing back and forth because you know, I don't want to just move my daughter like that. You know, she's got roots, and I need to see those sprout first. So you know, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing for now. I mean, it's working.
Last question. Trevor Whitman pulled a double shift today. What are you guys getting him?
Well, I mean, Trevor riding clean now, you know. So, no, amazing coach, great individual, and it shows. You know, we love to work with him, and he loves to work with us, and it all shows out there tonight.
Congratulations again, and you are definitely the pride of Africa.
Thank you. Ninja, I don't tear them. We don't dare vacarelas.
Just right here. To have Jorge, after everything he said in the lead up to the last fight and this, say, no excuses, he had my number, he's the better man. What does that kind of mean to you?
It's satisfying. You know, I wanted to be satisfied tonight. You know, like when I compete against another man, I want to be satisfied in knowing that man respects me for what I do. And, you know, that's all it is. I'm satisfied.
Are you satisfied with the first win over Colby, and maybe that's why you're not as keen to chase that feeling with the rematch?
I broke the kid's jaw. Like, I mean, how satisfying can you be after that? So, you know, I'm not really worried about any of these guys. Like I said, I've lapped the field. I'm coming around, and I'm coming with a vengeance. So, you know, they have to show me something, motivate me. Jorge, I wasn't satisfied. He didn't, you know, so he still motivated me, gave me that extra oomph. So I just want these guys to show me that. And, you know, like I said, I've fought everyone that's been put in front of me. You know, these guys all ducked me for years, and I just came through, and I came through like a Miami hurricane.
Do you think Nate Diaz could be a guy to motivate you if he does something with Leon coming up here in a few weeks?
We'll see. You know, I just heard something about Nick too, so you know, you never know.
Awesome, thank you, Kamaru. Congrats.
Thank you.
Kamaru, to your right over here. You know, we talked about the welterweight division, how deep it is, and you ran through everybody in your career so far. Just put out Masvidal, like the first time he's put out that way. Who would you say has been, you know, your toughest opponent in your career so far?
Myself. You know, when I go out there and I do what I do, I dominate everybody. You know, that's why I feel like I'm the pound for pound best fighter. I dominate everyone, and so, you know, as long as I'm in there and I'm present, you know, I go out there and I do my thing and I dominate everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kamaru, first of all, congratulations on a historic performance. You're the man they built this card around, and this is actually the third time in your career that you've headlined a card with 3 title fights. What do you think that says about how the UFC values your star power?
The first one doesn't really count. I wasn't the main event. John
My
Jones.
mistake.
Yeah. So, main event. John
My
Jones.
mistake.
Yeah. So, Dana sees what I see. It's kind of tough. I know a lot of people want to put me in this box. They want me to talk the trash and do the whole this and show Rolls Royce and the private jets, even though I can afford those things. I don't necessarily need to show that. I want to show the hard work that it took to get here. I want to show all those kids that are watching me. And, nowadays that's the problem is everyone sees that. They see the private jet, they see the Rolls Royce, and they don't see the work that goes into getting that. They don't know how to get that. That's important for me to show how to get that. And, like I said, I didn't necessarily fly here in a private jet, but I damn sure I'm leaving on one.
And last one for me is you heard the boos coming from the fans during the week. However, they definitely turned into cheers after you secured the victory. Can you just describe how that made you feel?
The electricity was incredible. Boos or cheers, it doesn't matter. They just wanted to see violence tonight, and I gave them that. So you're welcome.
Thanks, Kamaru.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right, there he is. And still, the UFC welterweight champion, looking like a champion. I mean, look at that ensemble. The blue coat, looking like a couple milli. Congratulations to Kamaru Usman. Great performance. Knocks out Jorge Masvidal. The first time he's been stopped with strikes since 2008 against Rodrigo Dam. But even in that fight, he didn't get put out like that. Pretty incredible stuff. As he's on his way to becoming the greatest welterweight of all time. Like I said, I don't personally feel like he's there yet, but he's very, very close. He's getting there with each performance, but we will wrap up this portion of our UFC 261 post-fight coverage. And on the other side, we're going to do the post-fight show. And it's probably going to be the people's post-fight show. Because I know you guys have a lot to say. AK has a lot to say. And to nobody's surprise, Jed Meshew will also have a lot to say. He will join us. We'll see you on the other side. Back in a few minutes.